Nick Kyrgios is bringing his A-game to the courts these days. We just wish he'd also bring some manners along too. While we're amazed at how the 27-year-old is bagging title after title, at the same time, we don't appreciate the volatile on-court outbursts that come before each victory. The Aussie star has made it a habit to land himself in controversy, but he's now taking his girlfriend down with him. Let's see how. First up, Nick Kyrgios' influencer girlfriend. The former world number 13 is not shy about showing off his love interest to the world. His current girlfriend, Aussie, is a Sydney-based blogger and influencer who he's been dating for several months now. Since the two went public with their romance in December 2021, the 22-year-old has joined him on the road for numerous tournaments, including Wimbledon. Most recently, the couple was spotted having quite the adventure in New York City ahead of the 2022 US Open. With over 100,000 followers on Instagram, the Aussie babe is frequently showing her love and support for Nick through some lovey-dovey posts on her account. On several occasions, Kyrgios has even used the ring emoji in reference to Aussie, fueling rumors that the two were engaged. Although no ring has been spotted yet, the 27-year-old did admit in an interview that Aussie is definitely the one, adding that he thinks she's an amazing person and he's completely in love with her. Now isn't that cute? If only he put his money where his mouth is, because so far, what we're witnessing on the courts is pretty unsettling, to say the least. If he really plans on wifing her up, he needs to get his act together, and you'll know why in a minute. Next, what went down in the Aussie's recent match? The world number 18 often lands himself in trouble, and this time he's even got his girlfriend involved. People who watched Wimbledon will probably remember how the Aussie constantly lashed out at his entourage, including his girlfriend, in the final match against Novak Djokovic. Sadly, that wasn't the first or the last time. In fact, he's made it a habit to snarl at his friends and girlfriend when things get tough, and he did it again at the US Open. Although the Aussie is now officially through to the third round, the victory didn't come without its fair share of drama after the roller coaster match against Benjamin Bonzi. Earlier this week, the Aussie star scored an easy lead in New York after claiming the first two sets, and it seemed like the match was Nick's to take, but Bonzi wasn't ready to go down without a fight, and the 27-year briefly lost the plot as world number 50 bounced back to claim the third set. To no one's surprise, the combustible Canberran grew increasingly frustrated as Bonzi fought his way back into the match and began berating the people sitting in his courtside players box for no reason at all, and he had to pay the price for his immaturity. As can be expected, Kyrgios quickly began to slam his support network, which included a friend, his physio, and Aussie, accusing them of falling asleep late in the third set. What? He also yelled at them countless times early in the match, furiously saying that the third set had already reached its game point. In between sipping his Gatorade, he continued to rage at them for their apparent lack of cheering and support, demanding they be more vocal. Yes, classic Nick, blame everyone but yourself. After dropping the F-bomb and shouting at his box to go home if they couldn't support him, the fuming Nick received a code violation for his audible obscenity, and he didn't just stop there. The drama went on and Kyrgios was seen spitting on the court in the direction of a sports box. This earned him yet another code violation for unsportsmanlike behavior. This man simply doesn't learn. The Australian was definitely lucky that the chair umpire chose to look the other way for the rest of the match as Kyrgios continued to attack his team, sitting just meters away from him. As a result, the three supporters stood up and began to clap for the athlete while screaming some words of affirmation. Let's talk about how did girlfriend Aussie get caught up in Kyrgios' US Open drama. Previously, Kyrgios has spoken about how he tries to get energy by engaging with his players box. According to his brother, Christos, Kyrgios uses the rants towards his entourage to pump himself up. Well, we definitely wouldn't call this engaging, and we don't get why people are making excuses for his habitual blow-ups. What they should do instead is call his behavior out for what it is: toxic and manipulative. Of course, him repeatedly cursing out his girlfriend isn't a comfortable sight for the crowd and viewers to watch, and even the commentators of the match. Aussie greats Todd, Woodbridge, and Jelena Dokic were critical of Kyrgios' supposed tactic. Woodbridge was just not having it, stating that his little tantrums were not helpful or healthy in any way. He further went on to say that the people on Nick's side shouldn't have to endure such an unacceptable treatment. Todd explained that his player box has got absolutely nothing to do with what happens on the court, and it's Nick who needs to start playing right. Dokic chimed in and expressed that the player was simply wasting his own energy. We have to say, we couldn't agree more. The annoyed commentator's voice said the people sitting in his player box need to take some action, advising that the best way to go about this would be for his girlfriend Aussie and the rest of his team to stand up and walk out on the tennis star during his game. Although Kyrgios did end up winning, Woodbridge remarked that if he keeps this up, he's just doing himself an injustice, also warning that if the Aussie is unable to get a grip on his emotions, there's no way he's going to go far at the US Open. Moving on, what did Nick have to say about himself in the post-match conference? comments. Now, you'd think after being so nasty towards his team yet again, he might apologize for it, or at least admit it was wrong. But nah, that's not really Nick's style. Even when he was asked whether he thinks he needs to work on his composure after the Wimbledon final, he deflected the question by saying that he believes a lot of athletes need to work on their composure. Yeah, okay, Nick. And just like every time, Kyrgios made sure to register all his concerns in the post-match conference without accepting any of his own flaws. Trying to explain his hostile behavior, Kyrgios stated that it was a probable consequence of the immense pressure on his back, saying that since Wimbledon, the bar is even higher. However, Kyrgios later said that he'd rather have that pressure on him along with the expectation to go far. A bold claim for someone who handles pressure like an 8-year-old. He also shed some light on his fuss about smelling marijuana. Oh yeah, did we mention that's another little stir he caused during the game? Apparently, the 27-year-old smelt marijuana and complained about it to the umpire, first pointing out a drunk woman. Now weed? Typical Kyrgios, isn't it? He went on to once again justify this when he opened up about having asthma, saying that running side to side makes it tough with a drug in the air. Well, that makes sense, but why can this man not play a game without creating some sort of scene? Lastly, what we don't understand is why his 21-year-old girlfriend puts up with him. Let's be real, Christine Hatzi is way too good for a man like Nick, who clearly has some issues he needs to deal with. And seeing that this isn't the 27-year-old's first controversy, we're trying to figure out why the brunette bombshell still hasn't called it quits. If you don't know what controversy we're referring to, well, you're going to want to hear this. As appalling as this might sound, the tennis star is currently facing assault charges in Australia over accusations from ex-girlfriend Chiara Passari from an incident that allegedly took place in December 2021. Watching the Australian player's angry antics during games, we can't say he's incapable of something like this, but we're really hoping it's not true, because this could mean danger for Hatzi. According to Kyrgios' lawyer, Jason Moffat, the nature of the allegation is serious and is being dealt with as such, but the athlete will not be giving any comments until he thinks the time is right. After a Canberra magistrate rejected the appeal for a months-long delay, Kyrgios failed to appear for the initial hearing. During brief proceedings, his lawyer then pushed for a 3-month adjournment of the case for some unknown reasons. And although Magistrate Louise Taylor denied the appeal, she instead remanded the case to October 4th. Sounds like a messy situation, so let's wait and see how things go from here. If the star is found guilty, he could be looking at a maximum sentence of 2 years. Yikes. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about Nick's erratic behavior towards his girlfriend? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.